Have you ever loved someone so much that even after they are gone, you still catch yourself wanting to call them? Maybe you lost your mom, your dad, your brother, or someone who meant the world to you. If that's why you clicked on this video, I just want to say this. I am really sorry. I know I can't take your pain away, and I won't sit here and tell you just be strong or move on, because grief doesn't work like that. I've been there, and if you will stay with me for the next few minutes, I just want to share what grief has looked like for me and 5 things that have slowly helped me keep living even though the pain never completely went away. Hi buddy, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Fumilayo Oyeni and I'm a product manager. I know it's been a while. I actually came back here recently and noticed that more people had subscribed while I wasn't even posting. Seeing that really made me stop and think. Thank you. Seriously, thank you for being here. It reminded me that maybe there are people waiting to hear something I have to say. So, for the longest time, I thought this channel had to only be about product management, tech, and building a career. And don't worry, we will still talk about those things. But over the past few months, I have been learning something, which is life isn't only about building a successful career, it's also about using your own experience to make someone else's journey a little lighter. So today isn't a tech video, today is something much more personal. I honestly don't know who this video is for. Maybe you searched for it, maybe YouTube recommended it to you, or maybe God simply knew you needed to hear this today. Whatever brought you here, I am grateful you are here. And I pray that before this video ends, your heart feels a little lighter than it did when you pressed play. If you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe. Let me tell you why this topic means so much to me. I'm actually smiling here right now, but let's go right into it. So I sort of like changed my background a bit because I first of all shoot a video on my bed and I noticed it was dark, but I came towards my window and it's a bit bright, so I started to shoot the video here. In May 2024, I lost my elder sister. Even saying those words still doesn't feel normal. It's been a little over 2 years now. People often think that after enough time passes, the pain disappears. That hasn't been my experience. The pain changes. You learn how to carry it, but you don't stop missing someone you genuinely loved. My sister wasn't just my sister, she was one of the people who made my life easier without ever making me feel like I owe her anything. So I am the last child in my family. Growing up, she took care of me in so many ways. She cooked for me, she helped me whenever I was confused. She was there. Oh my god. I'm trying not to To shed tears. Okay. Sometimes I still find myself thinking, if my sister were here, I know exactly what she would tell me to do. You know, those little moments never really leave you when you lost your loved one. So my sister was diagnosed with cancer. Before that, it started as what we thought was just a breast lump. I still remember going to the hospital with her. I'm fine. And the first time we honestly believed removing it will solve the problem. None of us imagined that one day we will hear the word cancer. Everything changed that day. She went through chemotherapy. I watched her lose her hair. I watched her body become weaker. I watched the treatment change her physically. Like she was so lean. There were days she couldn't sleep. There were days I wish I could just take away her pain. And if you've ever watched someone you love suffer, then you know one of the hardest parts is feeling completely helpless. You want to do something, anything, but you can't. You know, after chemo, we were hopeful. We thought, that is it. She's getting better. But after some time, the cancer came back. The doctors eventually had to remove one of her breasts. Again, we hope that will be the end of it. Again, we prayed. And months later, she started becoming sick again. She kept coughing. At first, people thought it might be, tuberculosis, but it wasn't. The cancer had literally like spread over her body. You know what amazed me whenever I think back isn't just how she suffered, it's how she chose to be while she was suffering. Please, I'm going to tell and I will just let it be. My sister was still cheerful. She was still smiling, she still made people laugh. If you had met my sister outside, you probably wouldn't even know she was fighting cancer. Most people were shocked when they heard she had passed away. They would say, oh, she was sick. She never looked like someone who was sick. And they were right. She did not let her illness become her identity. Looking back now, I realize she taught me one of the greatest lessons about courage without ever sitting me down to teach it. Sometimes courage isn't pretending nothing is wrong. Sometimes courage is choosing to keep smiling even when life has become unbelievably heavy. One day I was with her at the hospital. We talked, we laughed. Nothing about that day made me think it would be one of my last memories with her. And then she was gone. There are moments from that season I probably carry with me for the rest of my life. I remember praying, not just praying, but begging God, believing everything in me that she would survive. And when she died, I had questions. Yeah, I had questions too. Like, hard questions. I remember asking God, why? Why did you heal other people with cancer, but not my sister? Maybe you've asked questions like that too. Maybe you've prayed for someone and you still lost them. Um, if that's your story, I understand that pain more than I wish I did. I don't have every answer, and I'm not making this video because I have figured grief out. No, I am making it because I have walked through it and I'm still walking through it. And while I still miss my sister every single day, God has slowly been teaching me how to keep living without feeling guilty for being alive. Not because I have forgotten her, but because of what she meant to me. So today, I want to share 5 lessons grief has taught me. These aren't things I learned from a book. There are things I learned through tears, through prayers, through silence, through questions. And I truly hope that if your heart is hurting today, maybe one of these lessons will help you take just one step forward. Number one, I stopped running away from my pain. The first thing that slowly changed something in me was allowing myself to grieve. I know this sounds simple, but when you lose someone you love, people expect you to be okay after a while. They will say things like, be strong. Yoruba even say something like, Odigba dear. More like time heals. They will say, don't cry anymore. And sometimes, because we don't want people to worry about us, we pretend we are okay. I try to be strong too, but I realized something. The tears I refused to cry did not disappear. They stay inside. Grief doesn't leave because you are ignoring it. It just finds another way to come out. This could be through anger, through sadness, sometimes through becoming distant from everyone around you. One thing I wish someone had told me earlier is this: crying isn't a sign that you are weak, it's a sign that you loved deeply. So please, if you need to cry, cry it all out. If you need to sit quietly for a while, do that. If today is difficult because it's their birthday or anniversary of their passing, or because you just simply miss them, that's okay. Like, I still cry. It's 2 years and I still cry. During my sister's anniversary, I just want to be alone. And that's okay. Don't rush yourself. Healing is not a race. So even the Bible says, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Notice that Jesus did not say, blessed are those who pretend they are hurting. He acknowledged that mourning is part of loving someone. And God promises comfort, not condemnation. Another thing I do, which is point number 2, is I kept talking to God even when I did not understand Him. Can I be honest with you? There was a time I was angry with God. Not because I stopped believing in Him, not because I couldn't understand Him. I prayed. My family prayed. People around us prayed. I remember praying with everything inside me before my sister died. And she passed away. I kept asking God why. Why would you heal someone else's loved one but not mine? Because I saw people that were getting healed with cancer. You know, those were real questions. Maybe you've actually asked those questions too. And if you have, honestly, you're not a bad Christian. You are human. And something I learned over time is that God is not afraid of our honest prayers. You don't have to pretend with Him. You can tell Him you are hurting. You can tell Him you are confused. You can tell Him you are angry. Prayer isn't only for the days when something is going well. Sometimes prayer is simply saying, God, I don't understand this, but I don't want to walk through it without you. You know, looking back now, I still don't have answers to every why, but I have experienced His comfort slowly, patiently, day after day. You know, the Bible says that come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I think this is Matthew 11:20. Yes, Matthew 11:28. He did not promise explanations, He promised rest. So sometimes that's exactly what a grieving heart needs. Point number 3 is I choose to remember how she lived, not how she died. Whenever I thought about my sister, the first thing that came to my mind was the hospital, the chemotherapy session, the pain, the suffering, her final days, her burial, using the whole sand to cover her up. Those memories were so heavy that they almost erased every beautiful memory we had for 23 years. Then one day, I asked myself, if all I remember is how she died, am I forgetting how beautifully she lived? You see, that question changed something inside of me that whenever grief visits me, I intentionally remember her laughter. I remember how cheerful she was. I remember how she took care of me because I am the last child. I remember how she came to my rescues. Even something as simple as cooking reminds me of her. I remember one day I was trying to make soup, ogbono soup here. It didn't turn out well. It was so horrible, so buttery. I knew my daddy get back home is going to beat me. And I called my sister and she came to help me. She was not even home that day, but she came back home to make that soup. So today, whenever I remember moments like that, I smile before I cry, honestly. And I think she would prefer that. Our loved ones are more than the way they died. They are the conversations, the laughter, the sacrifices, the ordinary moments that became extraordinary because they share them with us. My Bible says that a good name is more desirable than great riches. So when I think about my sister today, I think about how she lived, the kindness she showed, the joy she brought into our homes. That's the legacy I want to remember. And I think that's the legacy you should remember about your loved ones too. The fourth point will be I let other people carry the weight. You know, one mistake I made was believing I had to grieve alone. When my sister died, I stopped talking to people. I I was staying alone again. That's like another issue. I went back to my house. I was just all alone by myself. I will cry so much. I think I was even losing myself at that point because I didn't want to be a burden to anybody. But grief become heavier when you carry it by yourself. You know, sometimes healing starts with a conversation, talking to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, your pastor, a mentor, someone who can simply sit with you without trying to fix everything. And I think that's what I did at because I told you I was crying and everything. I had to call my friend to come stay with me. I think she stayed with me for like a month, and I would just tell her things about my sister. And she didn't really provide any solution or anything, but just talking to her make me feel better. I think the only thing she kept on saying is she's in a better place. She's sorry, and that's okay. They don't have to fix it. Just speak it out. Just have conversation with somebody about it. Let the person know how caring and loving your sibling is or your loved one is. Especially if you are a man watching this. I know many men grew up hearing things like real men don't cry, be strong. My darling, but strength isn't pretending nothing hurts. So, real strength is admitting I am struggling because that was what I did. I had to just open up that I am losing it. God never designed us to carry life's hardest moments alone. And my Bible says, carry each other burdens, and in this way you fulfill the law of Christ. That's Galatians 6, verse 2. So sometimes God comforts us directly, sometimes it comforts us through people. Please don't isolate yourself. Let someone sit beside you. You don't have to have all the words. Sometimes someone present is enough. And the last thing is I started living the life I know she would want for me. So this is probably the lesson that changed me the most. Sometimes when I miss my sister, I ask myself just one question. If Christiana was here today, what would she want for me? Would she want me to stop smiling? No. Would she want me to stop chasing my dreams? No. Would she want me to spend the rest of my life feeling guilty because she is gone? I don't believe so. I knew my sister. She loved seeing people happy. She loved seeing me happy. And I honestly believe that if she could speak to me today, she would tell me, Fumilayo, keep living. So whenever I choose joy today, it doesn't mean I've forgotten about her. Whenever I laugh, it doesn't mean I don't miss her. Whenever I keep, moving forward, it doesn't mean I love her any less. It means I am choosing to honor her life by living my. Just think about it. How would this person want me to live? Of course, that person wants you to be happy, so you need to be. If you have stayed with me till this point, thank you. I know I cried and all of that. This wasn't an easy conversation, to be honest. It wasn't easy for me to even record. These are memories I still struggle to talk about. There are days I still miss my sister so much that words don't even come. And that's okay. But one thing I have learned is that healing doesn't always look like the pain getting smaller. Sometimes healing looks like you becoming stronger. If you are grieving someone today, I want you to hear me. Please don't believe the lie that your life ended because theirs did. The person you love matter, their life mattered, their memory matter, and because they matter, the way you choose to live from this day forward matters too. One question that has helped me over the last 2 years is this: if my sister were sitting beside me today, what would she want for me? Every time I ask that question, I get the same answer. She would want me to smile again. She would want me to keep chasing my dreams. She would want me to keep trusting God. She would want me to laugh without feeling guilty. She would want me to keep living. And that's exactly what I am choosing to do. I haven't forgotten her. Not because I don't miss her, but because loving someone doesn't end when they leave this earth. Love continues in the way we remember them, in the values they left behind, in the lives they touched, and in the life we continue to live because of what they poured into us. If this video helped you, I would love for you to share it with someone who may need it. And if you've lost someone who you would like to honor, feel free to tell me about them in the comment section. I would genuinely love to read your stories. Thank you for spending this few minutes with me, and see you next Wednesday. Bye, lovelies. I love you guys.